Stark snitch.
I am not a snitch. She said an anonymous tip.
You're the only one that I said something to. After you willingly decided to fistfight me.
Because I forgot, because I'm stupid.
You talk shit, and then you were like, alright, we're fighting. And I said, alright.
That's true. Yeah. That was my fault.
That's not your fault. I willingly did it.
Okay, just wanted to look you over, make sure you're okay, alright, Ma?
I know. I'm not bleeding. I looked in the car on the way back to MRPD.
Really? Because I didn't see you look.
I did it without you knowing, you stupid bitch. You don't have to. You were driving. You shouldn't be looking at what I'm doing. Hello, Vito. Hello.
Hello. Wait. I don't particularly care where we go. Go to your couch if you want, or anywhere, honestly.
Is it a couch-worthy conversation?
Probably.
All right. Oh, I don't know how that worked, but okay.
Man was running around in front of my house.
I saw that. I almost hit him. I thought he was a local. Not that I hit people on purpose. I
It's okay, that local guy was sitting out in front of my house doing curls, and then overhand, I don't know what they're called, forearm curls? Either way, he was sitting there, he'd do like 3 and then switch, and it's not how it works. He's not very good at it.
You would sit there and judge somebody for how they work out.
I mean, he's using my equipment!
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying that's very gal of you. I've been in Stark's car all day doing a disciplinary guideline.
Oh, good.
Ooh. Okay, car. Now it speeds up. What the fuck?
Realize he's fucking around. I feel like I miss that turn every time.
Yeah, I always fuck it up. I need to get better at learning how to drift it. I'm gonna try flat ground. There you go. Or I'm gonna rebuckle myself in.
You know, I don't think I could drive an R34.
I mean, technically your eye would be in the middle, so
I guess.
might be easier to drive an
I'm
R34.
like, maybe. I don't know. It's easier driving towards the center of the road because I have the lines to kind of keep me driving straight.
Have you? Oh yeah, you did try driving.
Ed took me up to the racetrack and let me try for a little bit. Somewhere safe. And I didn't go very fast.
Oh shit. Here we go. Me trying to get on the couch. Saga continues.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see the issue.
I got it.
Damn, this is the part where I have to start talking.
Yeah.
I
A
would
little
like
bit.
to preface this by saying Ed bullied me into doing this.
Oh. Hmm. Uh-oh. Okay.
But he's right.
Are you quitting?
I don't know if I'm quitting.
Okay.
I haven't made any decisions. I'm not in a state to make any decisions. And I'm more so just, I don't know. My head is reeling from so much of this.
Understandably so.
And I went on a walk this morning, which was really good for my coordination. It helped a lot, actually, just to be on my feet for that long.
Mhm.
And on that walk, I went to a hair salon. And also on that walk, I walked up to Bolingbrook and I visited Sunny.
Oh boy. Okay.
It wasn't a bad meeting. In fact, I think it was actually the opposite. And I guess the reason I've been so hesitant to approach this conversation is because I don't feel like anyone is going to see it the way I do. And I don't even necessarily know if it's my place. But I also kind of need to say it. Um, as much as I get it, because it's our job, and people care about me, and they see me get hurt, and you know, I understand that. I feel like my injury was used as an excuse to indulge an unprecedented level of violence. And that doesn't sit right with me.
My understanding, we were just going to Hogakai Block after we found you to see if we could find anybody matching fingerprints. This was particularly Sunny D that bleeded out an eye for an eye and found you with a knife in your eye.
Sure, and she openly admitted it when I talked to her. She quite literally said, "It was me, and I'm in here because I belong in here," and I get that. And
We went to look for her on her block. It's the first place we would have looked, knowing that Hogakai was after you.
right.
They opened fire first. Air One was just doing surveillance with officers nearby.
Do you know that they opened fired first?
From my understanding, they did.
On whose testimony?
The officers. There's a whole video.
Is there actually body cam?
Air 1 camera footage of Hokai block situation.
I don't have my MDT. I haven't gotten one since they took mine.
Let me watch it, and I will give you the full rundown. Hold on.
I say that because I know them to be many things.
Alright, so, from what I can see right away, looks like Presto's footage. Hokukai is posted up on their roofs already. They were already there when everyone pulled up. Hiding behind blocks, looking down at officers. Blocks on the roof, correction. They're staring at Air 1 and running around on their roofs, all of them. There's about 5. 6, actually. And by the time that the officers started rolling nearby, just to see if we could find Sunny to question her, they were already on their roofs.
Right.
Trying to fast forward it a little bit. It looks like one of their comments was parked illegally. So they go to impound it. What? No, I'm good. Okay. They approached Orion in the alleyway. O'Brien, correction. Or Orion? I can't understand these comms. They were... Air 1 broke to look for a blue comet. So before officers even rolled up, with their cell on your scene, Air 1 was calling out they were already on their roofs. They were ready.
Right. I wholeheartedly believe that. I mean, they were ready to defend Sunny. I'm...
Hokukai pulled a gun first. There was a female on the roof with a black balaclava over her head, and she pulled a gun. They all pulled guns and hid behind walls. Hokukai asked the cops to leave. It was Orion that they approached. They put the guns away, except for one person. Except Diablo Cody kept his gun out. Or the one that looks like Diablo Cody, according to these comms. Just waiting for something to pop off. Hold on.
It's okay.
They tried climbing to the higher roof, to the building, if you're on Haywick, the building to your east.
Mm-hmm.
Cops are trying to get their numbers under control. Yeah, so they're on the buildings all surrounding Hokukai block from the east. They started pushing up north to cover more block. Looks like they're covering 8 buildings from the initial hotel. Briggs approached them to tell them to put the gun away. Not approached them, but told them to. From up high. There's like 8 of them on every roof, on these rooftops. I'm trying to see who's shooting first. Hold on. From what I can tell, they're just running around all these roofs with radioing a bunch. They all ran to cars. They all got in their cars. They're, I don't know what road this is, but they're on Spanish, sorry. Spanish San Vitus talking to 404. K9. Continue on their way. They're doing a whole brigade. Mo's trying to pull them over to talk to them, from what I can see. Unit is trying to pursue them. They go to the parking lot, where we found that tree across from West Eclipse. They're getting out of their car, climbing onto the roof of the building across from West Eclipse. They pulled guns. There's 5 on scene. What looks like to be Diablo Cody from a distance is running eastbound, getting ready. All of them have guns. From what I can tell, police aren't pushing them because they're holding inside of the... Okay, do you know where we found the Christmas tree?
Yeah, inside the Richmond.
Yeah. They're holding inside of there, like barricaded suspects at the moment.
Right.
They went in the back through that small-ass doorway, and they're just tucked on rooftops and around the corners. Hold. They got Lancaster and somebody else to hot drop out of Air 1. Just in case. They pretty much barricade themselves in. They believed that Sunny was the one with the veil over her head, which is why they were trying to talk to her, and then she went into there and barricaded herself. I can't tell who's getting in this car. or the Air 1 to hot drop. Air 1's landing on the smaller roof, right next to the entranceway to the right of it. There's one suspect up there with them.
No come.
They had
Yeah, what
units
up?
above them.
Where you at?
MRPD.
You really had to think about that, huh?
Because I'm stupid. Where you at?
Walking back into MRPD.
We're
Right.
still in the Richmond.
Right along, right along.
Right along, right along.
Presto warned them to put their guns away and put their hands up or they'll be shot.
Are you upstairs?
That was the first warning.
downstairs?
Garage.
They gave them a
The
second warning.
garage?
They gave them a
As
second
I'm
warning to put their
tangling
hands
the
up,
ball
put
of
their
the
guns
yarn.
away or they would be shot. They gave them
That's
one last
A
warning.
weird task
They did
to
not
be
move.
doing.
Oh, it's part of my bomb defusal training.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I mean, you'd know more than me.
Presto's calling out where every suspect is.
Huh?
Cops are
Combat
waiting to
medic
push
shit?
still. They're giving them more time.
I didn't defuse bombs.
Yeah, you were around more bombs than me. I was around one bomb and I didn't even know what the fuck it was, apparently.
Cops still
so.
didn't press yet.
I've only been around
gave them
one
3
bomb,
warnings and they're giving
it
them more time.
exploded on me.
They have 3 officers walking through the front door, 2 on the roof above
Well, I've
everybody.
been around one bomb and it
Cops are starting to push slightly. Walk forward just to see what they're dealing with. Diablo Cody aimed the firearm and is ready to... All of them are ready to point with pointing firearms. Suspects. Stay in told everybody to push at one point, at one time. And shots fired. From this angle, I can't tell who shot first, but cops were pressing. From what I can tell, the person that was tucked behind a plant, suspect-wise, shot first. Or it was one of the cops pushing in after 3 verbal warnings in time to surrender.
Sure, and that tracks.
And then they took 1 down, 2 down.
I mean, at that point, I'm fairly certain what happened. As I heard it, they dropped Rico and I believe one other officer.
Yes. O'Brien's comment on here is actually pretty good. Connor O'Brien was at MRPD with Dylan Presto when 911 came in from Captain Raina Shaw, stating that Gal Norman had been kidnapped from Pump and Run. Me and Dylan Presto got out Air 1 and took off searching areas where G. Norman could have been taken to. First, we checked some shots fired calls at Cassidy Trail. Then checked the top of Mount Chiliad, then to the lumber yard, then to the islands just north of Polito. Then down to the east coast, checking caves and islands. We didn't find her. Detective Rico called over the radio that she found her at the scrap yard. He wrote scrappy yard. That's kind of funny. Me and Presto responded still in Air 1. We stayed above and kept eyes on the scene. Instantly, a cop called out that a blue comet could have been involved. We started searching the area and found nothing. A unit on the ground found a matching car on Hogakai block. We responded and stayed above. We saw some Hogakai members pulling guns. Officers tried to get to the higher ground. At this point, an individual believed to be Diablo Cody held a firearm around O'Brien and a deputy. Several individuals continued to hold firearms around officers. Eventually, the suspects got into a blue and brown vehicle and 2 on bikes. The suspects went around 2 blocks north to a new spot where they could all where they all took cover and several of them held firearms. Initially, they had someone on a roof above. We picked up Forsyth and Hoffman, who we dropped off on a rooftop just above the suspects to have the advantage. The suspects were given multiple warnings over Air 1's loud system to put the guns down, and if they had them out when officers came around, they would be shot. Suspects refused, and when officers came around the corner, a gunfight ensued. A suspect ran west as the scene was clear. We kept eyes on them and called it out. A deputy chased them. Presto called it out,
Who's the Ubid one now?
and they went into a garage where
That's still you,
shots
dog.
started again. Officers responded, and the suspect was gunned down. A white Challenger with a black stripe was seen driving around the scene and pulling onto Hogakai's block. They swapped to a black 10F and continued to circle. We had to brake for fuel due to being low. We refueled and landed at Vespucci PD. From here, me and Presto got into a car and came to Zona to provide security. The suspects were all taken to Vespucci PD. From what I could tell, they barricade themselves in, and we, officers, shouldn't say we, gave them multiple warnings to stop, and they didn't.
I would believe that.
I don't believe that they would have shoot anybody like that willingly. Does that help, or does that make everything worse?
I don't know that it affects it one way or another.
I don't know the correlation with the Blue Comet. Maybe because they pulled over Sunny D earlier that day in the Blue Comet.
I don't know. I
wasn't on radio at that time. By the time they found you, I was just turning on main tack.
I get it. That sort of chaos breeds split-second decisions and high blood pressure and I don't know. There's just a part of me that knows for a fact, regardless of what procedure was or wasn't followed, there's just a part of me that knows there were people who were absolutely ready, had their class 2s in hands, and were already on their way to that block because they were so ready to blast some gang members.
They did go over numbers, and they did have to tell everybody to fuck off. But I don't believe that everybody had class 2s.
I'm sure that some of them didn't. I'm sure some of them did, but either way. My frustration is that, and I know you're not going to accept this as an explanation, and I think no one is going to accept this as an explanation. But this didn't need to happen. It didn't.
You wanted them to walk after hurting you like that?
Would I sound insane if I said yes?
Yes. A little bit. But that's also coming from me who lost my wife and then downgraded to murder.
I mean, I can be real, and man, this was so much easier to tell Ed.
I mean, speak your truth, man.
I've done things in my time as a police officer. I have done absolutely appalling things that I have not been punished for. In fact, I have been promoted for some of them. I shot an unarmed man and was told good job and literally got promoted to a senior officer for it. And I was congratulated on my first kill. And I have since killed my best friend. I have killed people who were literally just running for their lives. Like, I genuinely hoped they weren't trying to kill me. I know they weren't trying to kill me.
They didn't go to prison for trying to kill you.
I know. They went to prison for torture and mayhem and attempting to maim me, which by definition they did.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't discount the fact that losing my eye sucks. Like, really, that sucks a lot. This is maybe the shittiest thing I've had to deal with probably in my entire life. But knowing that Hogakai and the police are now blowing each other's brains out every day, when all it took was for them to get their get back and walk away.
That's the
I deserve what they did to me and worse.
No. You're not the one who killed Cal. This martyr thing you're doing. This dance with the devil. It's You're not the one that shot the one into his skull.
How do you know that?
The footage. You can't say anything to anybody, but MCD's looking into it. You're not the one that killed him. You're being a martyr.
Does it matter?
No. But you're on a dangerous path right now. You're descending down the slope of what's good and what's bad when it doesn't exist. There is no such thing as a good person, a bad person. There's people that are pushed to a limit. There are people that push to an extreme. People that care, people that love. It all makes people do things that are stupid. I understand your point of view. I do. But there's a way to handle situations when somebody dies. There is a different way than enacting revenge to take an eye. Because if we're talking standards, the same thing that Ed said is this: an eye for an eye makes the world go blind.
Are we really any different?
No.
What happened when Murdoch died?
The DOJ is a fucking piece of shit and let it discount for everything. But I'm pretty sure I saw a body cam of Murdoch.
But I mean, it doesn't matter. My point is, Murdoch died, and the police turned into a mob. They turned into a gang. They turned into a bunch of people who were calling to kill him. They turned into people who were attacking the DOJ and literally trying to overthrow it. The lieutenant commander committed almost sedition in response to it. Any other officer who said what she had said would have lost their job, grieving or not. And she had the influence of an entire department rallied behind her when she did it.
I'm aware.
We're not different than them.
I didn't say we were. There's no such thing as good and bad, Norman.
So why do they get held accountable and we don't? Why can't they have their petty act of revenge and be done with it?
We don't do revenge. We don't torture people.
They didn't torture me. They stabbed me in the eye.
Norman, are you in pain?
Yes. Immensely so.
They're continuously torturing you because they took something from you that's causing you phantom pain and physical pain.
But isn't that mine to hold against them?
True. But
How can anyone say they're fighting for me when I don't want this? I don't want people going to Hogakai's block and shooting them. Yes, they did something that they, one way or another, should have to answer for, but this is...
they didn't go seeking a fight. They just wanted Cole Sunny to talk to her.
I guess I've just been seeing... I've been doing this long enough to know they always go to a gang block seeking a fight. They're impounding people's cars on their block. No one walked in there with... I get it. They're barricaded. We don't walk into any ambush, but... I just know somewhere in me that the bare minimum diplomacy was done. Orders were given, and no attempt to de-escalate was made. I know that Sunny would have surrendered herself willingly.
She did not seem willing in the video. She's posted up on a roof with a gun in her hand. I'm in no way trying to discount what you're saying.
I understand, and I understand I sound insane.
No, I get it. These are people that you had a relationship with, you trusted. You still probably do.
Their justice is archaic, but it's not irrational.
That would have this is what would have happened regardless.
It
They're not
didn't
the
have
only
to.
gang that's sick of the PD. I started this whole thing, and when I say this whole thing, I started my career here trying to make a change, trying to make sure that officers were held accountable in my department. 'Cause that's the only thing I could control. I did it to ensure that I would be the change, because a year ago it was a lot worse. 2 years ago it was a lot worse. There were situations where people would run over a suspect just to get them down. Those people waited themselves out, obviously, but it was bad. Over time, with influence, SAS kind of morphed into more of what it is today, which I could say is a lot better than what I've seen from other departments. Still not 100%. I don't think it'll ever be, because people make split-second decisions that are stupid.
People make calculated decisions that are stupid.
True. But I don't know. I've been where you are. I was attempted execution in Sisyphus Theater for Hell Week because the cops were being a lot. The day I got sergeant, actually. The day after. They stared at me, they took me with a ride along in my car, left her, and took me to Sisyphus Theater and gave me a whole speech about how the cops needed to be better, act better, treat them better, and then they executed me for it. I don't know how long I was laying there, bleeding out, but it was a long time. And I was also hit over the head with something metal and kidnapped for something the cops did. And then I was also taken to a waterfall, given a whole speech about the cops need to do better, and stabbed off of it, where I was handcuffed in the water, drowning. And that was just the last 7 months. 7, 9 months, something like that. I understand where they come from. I understand that everything they do has an action and a reaction. And I try my best to do what I can from command side. It's why I have such
That's exactly it, though. It's a reaction after reaction, and this was an opportunity to break a cycle of violence that was starting before it happened.
Given what Sonny D said, it was going to happen regardless.
What did Sonny D say?
In her interrogation, she admitted everything and was just like, yeah, it would have happened regardless.
To me, yes.
I think in the shootout, too. I wasn't there. I was standing outside your surgery room the whole time, but...
I don't mean to sound ungrateful.
Oh, I know.
You and everyone else have rallied behind me, and I don't ever want to feel like I don't appreciate and that support means everything, but
You understand that
from where I am sitting, I don't feel like I am doing. And this could be the meds, this could be me being neurotic, this could be PTSD, this could just be I need days to clear my head, which is probably why I'm on administrative leave. And like I said, I don't plan to quit, but I just don't know how to reconcile this.
the Hokukai violence has stopped in the last day, from what I hear. I haven't...
That's not what I see on my phone. I read the supervisor emails today, and apparently Vanessa Monroe turned herself in for shooting cops in Legion. It's every action breeds a reaction, and this reaction was mine to refuse. Because yes, they did this, and yes, it sucks, and yes, maybe they tortured me, and I am actively in pain, miserable because of it. But I would rather just be sitting here miserable knowing that this was over than knowing that officers went out there, brought Air One and 7 or 8 cars to their block and were like, why are they defending themselves? They're not going to negotiate with an army. Did anyone walk in there and try to just sit down and talk with them? Not like say, where's Sunny D? We need to talk with her. Sit and say,
Yo, East
hey,
Coast 4, come down
we
here.
need to work this out.
I'm coming.
Because I'm willing to bet it was, you need to bring Sunny D out here, or there's going to be a problem. We're impounding your cars. We have Air One. You need to comply. Drop the weapons. You're all under arrest.
Side note, the Vanessa Monroe warrant is because yesterday, apparently, her head popped. She couldn't serve her time, so they put out a warrant.
Fair.
It was the O'Brien thing we talked about.
I just don't like being part of a... I don't like being part of a cycle. I don't like knowing that everything I do is just going to breed more and more violence. That's not what I signed up for. And somehow, every time I think I've got shit figured out and found a way to keep the peace, to keep people from killing each other, everyone, usually the police, find a way to make that not happen. Whether it's them rolling through gang blocks and antagonizing them, whether it's Mick Swagger saying GRVAs put hair on your chest. It's what we do. We antagonize them into shooting. And if they don't shoot, we breach the building and we shoot them first. I have it from some... Hogakai are a lot of things, but I don't think they lie to me. And they will swear on their life that they were not going to shoot until someone shot them.
They barricade themselves in.
I know. After they were chased from their block. And I get it. By SOPs, we did nothing wrong. We followed the procedure. We ordered them to stand down. We were past the point of negotiating. And it just feels like no one ever wants to end things peacefully. No one does. There are maybe 2 to 3 officers on the force I know who don't reach for their gun as a first response. And it just... I don't know how to keep doing it. Ashford asked for my testimony against Sunny. And I don't want to give it.
You don't have to.
I don't want to give a testimony that's going to be used as ammunition to justify the violence against Hogakai because I will not back it. I am the victim of this crime, and yes, that makes me sound like a martyr, but it is true. If me being stabbed is the justification for this war, I don't support it.
I don't think that's what everyone was intending it to be.
Not everyone. But I guarantee that people I will not name by name were excited at the notion of breaching a gang block and shooting them all down. Even you can't deny that there were people on the force that were probably looking forward to that.
No, I can't.
And when those people take command of a scene, they tactically guide the situation to that end point. I know, because somehow the people who like shooting end up in literally 1,000% more shootings than I do. I can tell the people who want to shoot because they end up in 7 to 8 OISs a week. And that's not just because people don't like them. It's because they seek to antagonize. They seek to reach that end goal. They want that point where, okay, there's our probable cause to shoot. Now I can draw my gun. I have pushed them to the point where they drew first, and now I can shoot them. And I won't be a part of that. And maybe I need a few days to think it over. Because I don't want to walk. I've dedicated my life to this. This is what I do. This is how I help people. This is my avenue to make the world better. To help people who need help. And they can charge Sunny with every single thing she's ever done. But I will not support this charge.
She did torture you, though.
She did. And I know that rationally, legally, we cannot let that go. But at this point, it's on principle that this charge was used as a justification for incredible levels of violence, and I will not stand for it.
Let's just get out of here before they go full fucking. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm looking to hear in response to this right now. Like I said, I sound out of my fucking mind. I
mean, no, I'm not gonna lie. Command's already been talking about something like this. It's been a conversation. I can't talk about it.
I know, and I'm not here to pry into that. I don't want to know.
It's kind of ironic because I just wrote an entire discipline guideline right before this.
And you're saying you're positive that I am not the one who shot him in the head.
I'm being told you're not.
I mean, I may as well.
I'm being told that you're not.
It's nuance at this point. I shot at him, and I was aiming for the only part of him that I had an angle to.
Yes, but they also decided to lower Banks up to the top of a construction site, got out of a car, and mag dump him in his spot.
Sure, and do you know what I saw Banks do the next day? Literally the next day? We were pursuing a Sultan registered to, I believe it was Curtis Thornton, a member of Hogakai. And the entire chase, I literally had to order him to stand down. Because I was not about to watch him get shot by them again. But he was pushing primary. He was antagonizing them at the scene and saying, it's okay, they're my friends, I know them. He literally was like overtaking me on the left side saying, I'm gonna get them, it's okay, they know me. And he started, faking that he was gonna ram them. Probably actually did a couple times. And all just saying, it's okay, they know me. It's like, I know who this is, it's fine.
It goes into cause and effect, though.
Sure, but I know Banks to be an officer who regularly antagonizes people. Nobody would contest that. Every single person who has seen Banks on duty would absolutely back the fact that he antagonizes suspects regularly. And that got him shot. It gets him shot very often. And yes, they shoot first. But we know what we're doing when we do that. We know what we're doing when we push people, when we ram their car, when we escalate, but not to the point of violence until they finally snap and shoot us. That's how it goes. That's why people like Banks have the highest OISs in the force, because they do shit like that. And regardless of whether I shot the killing bullet, I had to assist in the murder of Cal Baker for it. Justified murder, murder no less. It's all cause and effect. It's all a cycle. I get it. Banks did a thing. He probably did a thing because they did a thing prior. They reacted to Banks. I shot Cal. They got upset. They took their vengeance. I got stabbed. PD reacted. They reacted. PD and them are at war. It's all a cycle. It's going to keep going. They're not going to forget this. Something's going to happen and they're going to pop off again. And all of that could have been stopped if people had just stopped and realized for a sec, hey, maybe we should not just storm their block right the fuck away. Maybe running in there with our guns out and screaming at them is not the immediate solution. And I know that that's not how the PD works, and that's what my issue is that's not how the PD works. We don't believe in resolving issues we don't believe in resolving issues after they have escalated. There's just
taking you off duty from a business, bringing you and torturing you is an escalation. Regardless if it's revenge or not. I'm not justifying anything. I'm just saying.
I mean, I would argue they're matching force. We murdered one of theirs, they tortured one of ours.
After they escalated the first time.
I mean, like I said, it's all a cycle. Arguably, Banks escalated that scene, and arguably they escalated a scene before that. It goes back.
It's the kind of thing where because you see assaults and you expect a rat, or because you see this you expect that, but it's only because the Sultans have ruined it for everybody.
Sure, and honestly, I respect the hell out of Starks, because whenever we see Sultans, he and I work incredibly well as a team. And Sultans don't get away from us. They do ratty shit. They take dumpster jumps. They go through weird gaps. They take the weirdest shit. And rather than bitch and moan and say, we need to pit them, oh, these people are rats, fuck these guys, what a bunch of shitters, we do something about it. We focus up. We actually respond to what they're doing. We catch them. And more often than not, they don't shoot us because we didn't spend the whole chase ramming them.
No, I know. I've seen it.
And so many people would rather the solution just be we ram them because that's easier. It's easier to escalate. It's easier to use force. And they don't care how we get it done as long as we get it done. That's how MCD operates. That's not how Patrol operates.
I don't have good answers. Because it's something that I'm actively working on.
And the thing is, I don't know that there's an answer. This job draws people. The very nature of our work requires a lack of accountability. On a certain level, we cannot punish our officers for every little incident, or they lose the ability to use force when necessary. but I don't know how to reconcile that with what my personal desire is for what I do this job for. Because at the end of the day, when Banks pushes someone to the point that he gets shot, when Mo decides he's in a chase to kill someone, I have to have their back. I have to be at their shoulder. When Shepard decides he's going to land Air 1 and blow someone's head off, and I have to defer to him, and because he is the pilot of Air 1, I told him it was a bad idea. I told him this isn't the purpose of Air 1. He said, "Do you trust me?" I said, "You're the pilot. It's your call." So he landed it, and we killed him. And if anyone on the ground had shot Cal Baker, he might still be alive, because we were shooting him from the top, and the only things visible to us were his head and his shoulders. And so I don't know what to do. I'm tired of it. We kill people over and over and over again, but it's only a problem when ours die. We can go to their funerals and mock them. MCD can go to Amari's funeral and start writing warrants for people who are grieving. But as soon as Jax Murdoch dies, the guy didn't get charged hard enough. We didn't send him to jail for long enough. And so now we attack the DOJ like a bunch of gang members, like a mafia. At least he got held accountable in some way, shape, or form. And I miss Murdoch. He was one of the kindest people to me. He is one of the most respectable detectives I ever talked to. And he was the reason I wanted to apply to CID. And I miss him. But the way we acted after he passed away was not right. I watched people with way too much power in their hands absolutely abuse it. Sorry.
You didn't.
That's not mine.
Oh, it's fine.
Why do only ours get the sanctity of the grave? Do you really think Shepard grieved Cal Baker?
Shepard doesn't care. You know that he doesn't.
Know that he may as well be one of the fucking members of any gang on the street. He picked the PD because it's the one that lets him get away with it. That's exactly the problem. He gets away with it. He follows the rules. He does the SOPs. And murderers get to commit murder legally. And I'm one of them. Maybe not Cal Baker.
I got you, Vito.
When did you find that out?
MCD.
When, though?
While I was writing evidence that night for a different scene. I didn't want to tell you until you had time to adjust. I didn't know what you would think. I don't mean to get emotional. I'm under a lot of stress lately.
Sorry for putting this on you.
No, it's not that. It's you're just saying things that I've already been saying and talking about, and it happened a lot when I was lieutenant. But it's happening even more now that I'm a captain. Where there's a conversation and I don't agree, and I start speaking up. And I change the way that the conversation goes. And then I turn around to get Jericho's input, and she's gone. She was the one that kept me. You're preaching to somebody that's already been doing this behind the scenes. I just don't talk about it because I'm trying to do it.
I don't mean to yell this at you.
No, it's not that. For over a year now. Almost a year and a half, I guess, if you put 3 months on the end of that. I've been trying to be a change. Holding
I'm trying
people
to do it
accountable.
for 10 years.
I know. But in this city, particularly, Jericho's death launched me into a accountability spree, kind of. Where I coined it as the backwards hat. I didn't care that her... Did it annoy me? Yes. Did I care that much? No. That her death was downgraded to a murder. I can never really look at Pottegard the same. But I know he doesn't stab anybody anymore, so I can't hate him. I don't think I could ever hate anybody.
You wouldn't ever expect someone to forgive someone for that.
I know, but he decided to climb onto that oil tower and stab 2 people. Fleeing from a warehouse. And I wasn't mad at him. Couldn't find myself to be super angry at him. I was more mad at fate than anything. And even Jericho a little bit, because she promised she made these stupid promises that she was never gonna go anywhere. She made these stupid ass promises that everything was gonna be okay. And she was too strong to die. And all these dumbass comments that made me believe that one perfectly placed knife was not gonna kill my wife. And am I happier with Callahan than I've ever been with her? Maybe. But I turn around and I look at my job and I talk about quitting because I'm exhausted. I've been fighting this fight in this department tooth and nail to get to where I am, and I just feel like I'm still being talked over. The only one who fights for my words is Larson. I'm trying to do what you're doing, in a way. Holding people accountable and making guidelines of use of force and all this other shit to change the whole disciplinary action. Once this restructure happens, we're pushing it. I've been fighting it for quote-unquote fairness, I guess is the best word to use in this scenario, for a very long time. And I've gotten pretty far. And I can safely say that Jericho's death had a huge input in my attitude. Which was to take no bullshit and be blunt as fuck. I don't have a good answer for you because I've been doing the same thing with no answer. I don't take out a gun first instinct to take out a taser unless I'm alone. I wait to be shot before I shoot, which is why most of the time I end up going down. I turned a corner in a GRVA one time with a class 1 in my hand, I think. And I believe it was Paulo West was standing around the corner. He had just shot somebody. And with the benefit of the doubt, I turned the corner with a gun in my hand, told him to put it down, watched him pull a gun, and still let him shoot me first. Because I gave him the benefit of the doubt. So I don't have a good answer, because I've been doing it for so long. But I can tell you that the only thing that keeps going through my head is stepping forward. And I have to remind myself that there's no good guys, there's no bad guys, there's just going forward. And the law may justify things, but I tend to look at things with more humanity than the law, which has gotten me in a little bit of trouble sometimes. It's the reason that I hired people with humanity and compassion and started switching up all the patterns. It's the reason that there's so much stereotype between BCSO and SASP. Because I switched it up. And I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't. I pretend that I do, because it looks fun and looks cool and people don't question me, but I genuinely am flying by the seam of my pants.
So what keeps you doing it?
The job or
The job.
the rank?
Either. Both.
the fact that I could see that I'm making a change when I step back and really look at it. Where 2 years ago on the force, I would have watched 3 cops baton somebody in a circle after tasing them on the ground. Where I can look at how many cops get kidnapped for other cops' mistakes and realize that most of the aggression's focused on BCSO. Most of it.
Their name is definitely the first one out of most people's mouth
Where I
when it
can
comes to those types of issues.
exactly. Where I can look at my department and see people like you or Starks or Fields or the best de-escalators we have, essentially. There's more to that list, but that's the first 3 that came to my mind. There's stereotypes for the department for a reason. And I can look and I can see that SASPs, although for maybe a few bad eggs, is mostly positive. And it proves to me that I have made a good hiring decision. And the ones that I didn't think were fit were not continued in our program. I keep doing it for the people as a whole. Because when people have a problem with SASP, they call me directly on my cell phone. I got called by the owner of Pizza This last night, or the 2 nights ago, because they needed surveillance footage for why an SMG was stolen out of a lockbox, and Pizza This didn't have any cameras. But Pizza This was pissed that the Big Swagger was asking and didn't give them a reason why he needed surveillance footage. There wasn't even surveillance footage there because there's no cameras, but they called me directly to complain. So I had to handle that. People like Ronan will pull me aside when I'm off duty directly to talk to me about issues. They make me the point of contact because they know that I am doing my best. And that's what keeps me going. Because people know that I'm trying. And I also am kind of doing it to make the city better. Or at least I'm trying to. Because there's a lot of people in the department that I'm super proud of.
Bye, coming, Malcolm.
There's a lot of people that I look at with pride because I remember hiring them and how far they've gotten. And maybe, yes, some days people are worse than other days. Yes, people have their bad days and their good days and their shitty mood days and all the above.
Bike just went back into red garage. Be careful.
But as a whole, I can look at the department and see what I've done. And that's why I keep doing it. It's why I keep telling myself I'm going to give it a month. I'm going to give it a month. I'm going to give it a month. Over and over and over again. I actually looked at Callahan today and I asked her, why am I still a cop? And she said, I don't know. And then she listed off a bunch of shitters in the department. And
Yeah,
why
Peter
they're
or white car
ridiculous
coming
and
towards
why
us,
they
too.
shouldn't be where they are, etc., etc. And I said, you're right. I'm trying. I stay because I worry what happens if I leave. It doesn't take a smart person to look at the department and see what I'm doing.
Jogger's coming.
I don't want to throw it all away just because I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted because I'm working so hard to do it. I'm tired because I'm putting in good work. And I don't really want to look back on it and wish that I just had kept going. I don't think I could give it in my... I don't think I could have it in me to, like, quit, to be honest. So either someone takes me out, or I take myself out by accident being a dumb bitch, or... I say I'm gonna give it a month, and I'm gonna quit if nothing changes. But genuinely, I don't think I can. There was a time where I was FTOing Reaches. And while FTOing Reaches, I had Jason Stone and Eno Straight come up to us at a gas station and talk about the criminals. And in that chase that we were just on beforehand, there was this was back last February, I think. There was a suspect that BCSO rammed into a wall going 100 and something miles an hour. And I watched Reaches back off and stay back. It was just like, what the fuck did he do that for? And I was like, that's phenomenal. And then I gave him a speech. And in that speech, I talked about being compassionate and having humanity and looking at every scenario as if it was you running from the cops. What would you want? What would you think was fair? What would push you to shoot? What would make you second guess everything? And Stone and Straight helped me explain it the best that they could. Just humanity and compassion and all that other bullshit that I've been looking for forever, and looking at them like people and not an object in cuffs. Because that was the biggest problem that I had.
I guess that's my biggest issue right now.
Yeah.
I know. And I'm almost mad. Because they did kind of seal their own fate, and I can own that. Because I know for a fact that if I had been on that scene, if I had been the one responding to Hogakai's block, I absolutely would have been the one to say, I'm gonna go in and talk to them. And I would not have gone in with a gun in my hand. And in any situation where they did not know that I had killed Cal Baker, or I guess I didn't, that's a can of worms for another day. I know that I could have gotten them to have Sunny surrender willingly. Her demeanor proves that. She wasn't trying to avoid accountability, she was defending her block. Because the police showed up in force, and I just wish I had been there. You know, this whole incident is on my head.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't even do what they were going for vengeance for. Not technically, although I feel like who shot the killing bullet is splitting hairs.
Considering only one GSW to the head, I mean, by technicality, you missed.
Yeah. Sunny said Diablo Cody probably wasn't even GSR positive because he got mowed down before they even looked.
I don't know the answer to that question.
I know. And maybe that's not true. That was heavily speculation, but I'm so tired.
Yeah, I know you're preaching to the choir, Norman. If you want to throw in the towel, I will not be mad at you.
Is that wrong of me to want to do?
No. Some
I don't
people
know
just
that I'll feel good about that.
some people just like being tortured their whole lives. Staying in a situation that causes them exhaustion and pain.
No, it's like you said, I've been living in a martyr complex for quite a while.
Well,
And it's going to kill me. It should have already killed me. And all I've done is indulge myself.
veto. You know, the first time I shot a gun was 2.5 years ago. I carried a gun on me with no ammo in it. Wasn't even loaded. Ever. Wasn't that I was scared to shoot. I just didn't have a good reason to. I had been shot at because of people around me escalating. I wasn't even a cop. I was a petty criminal at the time. And we had a Christmas party, and my father, who I thought had been dead for 10 years, walked in the room. If we're talking technicalities, he's tortured me for 14 years prior to that.
Somewhat relate.
Eric Shaw was not a loving father.
Neither was Douglas Norman.
It was a Christmas party. I had friends there. I had my half brothers that I just found out had existed were there. and my uncle, which used to be a PD cop here. And we talked to him for 40 minutes outside in the snow. He walked away, came back, pulled out a hammer, and my first instinct was to run forward and smack him in the face. And then he started hitting us all with a hammer. And I pulled out a gun. Loaded it. And popped 2 rounds into him. And he went down. And then Joe McDonald, DEO Quinn, and a few other officers came onto the scene and were just like, what the fuck is going on? There were a bunch of witnesses that were watching from the restaurant that the party was in. And I have auditory hallucinations. I hear voices in my head. And a lot of time,
Sounds terrifying.
it's awful. A lot of the time when I'm hearing them, it's him calling me worthless or a piece of shit, or wishing that I had never been born, or telling me that he should have snuffed me as a baby because he doesn't understand why my mom let me live as long as I did. He had 2 sons in Chicago, and he had me and 2 younger brothers in Ohio, and he absolutely hated that his oldest in that family was a daughter. So I became a punching bag. My left wrist isn't healed properly because he used it to throw me across a room. The reason I'm so good at stapling and stitching myself up is because I was forced to as a 5-year-old. When I'm shooting a suspect, sometimes he starts screaming. Like I'm shooting him. And I should be pretty angry. I should want to kill him. But it makes me freeze sometimes. And it makes me stop and question what I'm doing. His favorite thing was to take his whiskey bottle and slam it into me. Whether that was my head, my back, my side, whatever the fuck was closest. Yeah. Sometimes it was full. Sometimes it was empty. Sometimes it broke and he threw me over it. My 2 younger brothers were the people that I protected at the time. I closed them in a closet in a bedroom, and I would sit in the floor in front of it. So whenever he was on his drunken rampages, and out of sight, out of mind, I was the first one he saw. after he'd make me bleed all over the place, he would force me to clean it up so much that the carpet was stained red in one spot that I couldn't even keep cleaning it out, so I was punished for not being able to clean it out. That I just ended up taking a rug from a different room and throwing it over it just so that he would stop punishing me for the blood that he spilled. And yet, the older I grew, the more that I understood him after I had to shoot him. He was abused as a kid, just doing what he was thought was normal, what he was taught, using his anger on his kids. His dying breath, he tried to shoot me after punching me in the face. I'll never forget the look in his eyes. They were hollow, like no color, pure black, and he was just full of hate. Like I was the one who had taken everything from him when I didn't do anything. I don't know what drove him mad. I don't know what pushed him to that extreme. But I think it was just having a daughter. Someone that he tried to break over the course of 14 years before the house burned down, and he just couldn't manage it. So, I mean, I don't know if I can fully relate, but I get it, in a way. And I think that that's part of the reasons why I keep fighting this stupid fight that I keep fighting, because I want to help people, is what I set out to do. I want to make everything a better place. So I take on a pretty impossible fight. Because why not? I've been through worse. And at every step I take, I have Eric Shaw screaming in the back of my head to remind me how I got this far. Or I have Ed's voice in my head with his stupid ass long sentences that make sense, that piss me off. Or I have Imogen in my head reminding me that it's okay, that I'm not okay. And that I'm the biggest sponge for everybody else because I'm so used to protecting everybody else over my own well-being.
Your very nature is the protection of those you love.
It's because I grew up doing it. And while the PD may be that, at the same time, we all need to be held accountable. So I get it.
I grew up hurting people. Spent the early days of my job hurting people. I told myself I'd be everything he wasn't. don't think I know how to protect people.
It's not that hard to learn.
I don't hear anyone's voice when I'm shooting at someone.
That's a good thing, honestly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish this on anybody. But I was told that due to the trauma that I've endured over the past few years, or the head trauma that I've also endured, where I died for 7 minutes and came back, and a little bit of my brain died, triggered the extreme hallucinations as well. Auditory. I've been hearing them since I was a kid, but it got worse. Sometimes when you see me grabbing my temples or fidgeting too much, usually it's because they're screaming too loud. And everybody who seems to die or become important to me adds to the voice. So sometimes I have 2 people screaming at me, or sometimes I have every Kalishaw screaming at me plus everybody that died, so that's like 10 people. 15.
Guess I'm lucky enough that they only come at night.
That's the worst part.
I have very vivid dreams. I don't know why I'm still doing this. The more I think about it, the more it scares me to realize the reason I'm doing this. And the reason working and doing this job makes me so miserable every day.
Yeah. Rebleed. I guess
I know this is gonna sound very vain, but I think I've spent most of my life sure that I don't deserve to be happy.
that's not true. Regardless of what you've done in your past, you're here questioning everything because you still care.
You're questioning everything because of what I feel.
No. I'm not questioning anything. I've already been thinking that everybody in this fucking city shoots too quickly.
I'm one of the biggest hypocrites I know.
I'll just wait for you.
As much as I preach, and I teach, and I push, and I tell everyone that shooting isn't the answer, and I think I wanted to kill Cal Bacon. I wanted it so bad that I told myself I did. And I don't know what to do with that. Because I can rationally tell myself that I did everything. I do everything. I take all the steps. I wasn't raised protecting people, having people to protect. I was raised hating people. I was raised never to trust them, to manipulate them, to get what I needed and be done with them. And I chose not to be that person one day. But do I really just get to choose one day that I am not the person that I have been my whole life?
I mean, yeah. It's kind of how it works.
Did you leave the garage?
And what about all
Yeah,
the
I'm just
people who
outside.
died?
Okay.
I had every justification to shoot an unarmed man.
I gotta go change across the
He
street.
made verbal threats.
Oh, you found a
He
skateboard.
had a violent history, but he was
Yeah, it
no
was in my
real
locker.
danger to me in that
Nice.
moment. My brain heard, "There's your reason. Shoot him in the head." And I did. And in the split second before I felt absolutely awful about it, I was high on it. Should I really be on a police force? Should I really have that privilege to take a human life?
I think everyone deserves a second chance.
It's not even something I choose. It's not something I think about. I don't know.
People are all raised differently. Different places, different things. I'm one of those weird ass people that believe in the butterfly effect. Or at least thinks that it has a small impact on reality a little bit. If I had a loving family growing up, I would not be the person I am today. I would not be where I am today. I would probably still be in Ohio, stuck in a cycle of a privileged family or whatever you want to call it. Suburban house.
My sister
Come on,
hadn't
The
killed my
Bachelor.
dad, I'd probably be a psychopathic murderer.
What do you mean by that?
Butterfly effect. As much as you shouldn't be looking at the past and stressing about it and dwelling on it and thinking about it all the time and worrying about it for your future, it built who you are. My siblings and I planned to kill our dad, honestly.
So did mine. I just didn't have the spine to go through with it.
Same.
And there's always a part of me that regretted that she was the one who got to do it.
You want to hear the opposite end of that? Because we were too chicken to do it. He killed our brother. He put chloroform over his face, knocked him out, and because of the stress of the day and everything, later on, his heart gave out and he died. And it was mostly because of the chloroform in his system. It just broke him. I have the mantra of a phoenix because I was in a very dark place when my father came back. I wanted to do violence. I wanted to go down a path that was wrong. And AJ took me to a river on Cassidy Trail and talked me through it. Talked me through everything. From point A to point B of where I am and why I'm here. She saw somebody that was broken. That was going to go down a path where there'd be no hope for them in the end. They would probably die. Trying to be the hero when in reality they were making themselves the villain. And somewhere down the line, she told me to be a phoenix. And I didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. And she said that a phoenix has to rise from its own ashes in order to keep going. And it has to burn. And in her own long-ass way, she basically said, to let my past be the thing that burns. To rise from it and become better. Because nothing's truly over until you take your last breath. There's no point at any point of your life where you are out of any hope. Life will continue to go on, and you have to choose which path you want to be on. She put me on the path of becoming a cop. Because I watched that stupid bitch run into danger like it was nothing. Like me charging into that warehouse the other day. No hesitation. Screaming, ready or not, here we come. The people you meet shape you. There is no such thing as no hope. Just because of a person in your past.
Come on, Slowpoke.
If there was no hope, then everyone would be in the same spot that they would be in years ago. There'd be no change. The world would just stay stagnant. People wouldn't evolve.
What do you think, Didier?
People wouldn't be better. People would just
Patriot is, since that's the way you read it.
stay the
Yep.
boring
That's
ass.
what trying to think.
The world would be gray.
Ooh,
Yeah, you know I don't like doing that.
I know you.
The world would be gray and drab, and people wouldn't learn from their mistakes, and people would just stay on the same path. Because learning from your mistakes is the biggest thing that a human can evolve from. I give out the Phoenix pin to the people that deserve it. To the people that I believe have hope and a chance and are not done. To the people that I believe can rise and become something better than they are. Not that no one's better as they are, just to rise from the darkest part of where you could be in your head, essentially. For me, it's a phoenix. For someone else, it could be anything. A mantra or a different thing, but for me, nothing's ever done until it's done. Until the final cycle of the phoenix is over. It's gotten me a long way. To not think of it as a cycle, but to think of it as different evolvements, I guess. When my dad died, I burned that night. When I decided to go to Brooklyn with AJ and enroll in a police academy, I burned that night. When I became a sergeant, I burned that night. When my brother died 2 years ago, before becoming a cop, I burned that night. I used to have this long, strawberry blonde hair that I wore to my ass. Then it was braided, and then I just chopped it all off. My hair used to not turn gray when I got stressed. Because I love holding the world on my shoulders, because I burden myself with everybody else's shit along with my own, because I can't seem to let shit go. And every time I burn, I seem to expel. When AJ died, I burned that night hard. It was bad. When Callahan almost died 2 months later, I burned again. And I evolved to realize how much I cared about her. I burned the other night. I call it burning, but it's really having a mental breakdown. Among other things that push me to a breaking point. When the voices get too loud and I lose a grip and I become unable to move or breathe or exist. Something pushes me to an edge. And when I was promoted to captain, I felt myself burn. I wish I could explain it. but it's hard to describe.
In a certain way, I get it. In a less metaphorical way, every experience has changed the person I am.
Yes.
I'm not the same person who got dragged to that warehouse and stabbed.
I can tell.
Truth be told, I don't know what's wrong with me right now.
I think you've gone through a lot of trauma. You're trying to make sense of it all. When you shouldn't be. You should be resting.
I can't rest. I don't sleep. I don't feel like I deserve to sleep.
I think you're playing with the toy of who deserves what. That's a very slippery slope. Because the word deserves is one of the worst words in the English language.
I live my life by accountability.
Right. But deserves is one of the worst words to use because nobody deserves much. Kind of just happens to people. There's no good things that people deserve. There's no bad things that people deserve. There's just punches that are thrown by life or other people.
I guess the part that I just can't get past. And I guess it's because everyone else sees me differently than I see me. Is that... I mean, I would genuinely say this for me or anyone else, as heartless as it may seem. The eye of one person who has taken pleasure in the murder of others is a small price to pay to prevent people from killing each other. And I hate that. That point is stuck in my mind. And the fact that this was all for nothing is causing me even more something that I am gonna have to sit down and process later. I don't know. I don't like talking about what I've done, where I've been, and who I've known, and how my dad treated me, and what my sister and I did when we were little, and
You have to talk about it. I'm not asking you to.
there are some things you can't tell people.
I get it.
That's why I stopped going to therapy. You say the wrong thing. You threatened. I think I was 25. She basically told me one session, here's the deal. You now have to see me every week, mandatorily. And if you miss an appointment, I will get you 5150'd. Because you are a danger to those around you.
Kill that bitch. What the hell?
I called her bluff. I stopped going to therapy, and she didn't follow up. Terrible therapist, but I
Mhm.
haven't gone back since.
She sounds pretty bad.
She was a good listener, and I think she was scared of me. Was not the person I am now. I've had a lot of time to. I'd say temper, but I feel like the better word is bury. I told Ed everything I am is by design, by decision. I don't know who I am because all I know is who I'm not. I see people do things and I know that I'm not that. I see the way my dad treated people, treated me, and I know that I'm not that. I chose not to be that. I see the way my sister dehumanizes every person she meets, and I chose not to be that. I saw the way officers grabbed their guns the moment they had a reason, and despite every desire in my body wanting to join them, I chose not to be that.
And it sounds like you have a good idea.
I don't know what I stand for. I only know what I don't.
I mean, most people don't know their principles until they see others' principles first. People are always influenced by each other. It's kind of human nature.
So what when I look around me and I look at my fellow officers and I look and say, I am not these people. I don't even feel like one of these people. They support a facade that I have created over years of practice so that people don't find out why I yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, nice. Hey,
Hello.
you had it till fellow officers.
It was more so just saying that now I know that who I'm not is them. I'm not them. I don't even feel like one of them. And the only reason they look up to me is because I have created this facade over a decade of various travesties, honestly, and I am terrified that one day they're gonna figure it out. Or worse, that they never will. And that they will give me the power that I should never be allowed to have. I will never accept for the rest of my life. I know that I cannot be trusted with that much power.
Do you want to step down? Figure it out?
I don't know. I'm not making any decisions tonight or any time before I come back. Or at least until I'm recovered.
Valid.
Because I always told everyone I know I don't quit on the spot, ever. Take an LOA. Take a week. Take a month if you need it. And if you still need to walk away when you come back, you'll know. And I feel like this is my LOA. I feel like I've genuinely, pun not intended, had my eyes opened.
Pretty
I
morbid.
know more about myself right now than I have known in the entire time of my service.
Well, I guess that's
And
a
it took and it took me losing an eye to figure it out. And so I cannot hate them for it. In the most real way, I had that coming for a very long time. And Sunny shouldn't be held responsible for that. If anything, she did me a favor. It just doesn't feel right. And that's why I don't get a say. Because I'm compromised. My judgment is compromised. I'm too close to her. I'm too close to Hogakai, honestly. And the fact that I don't think that they should press charges against her can easily be qualified, legally speaking, by a conflict of interest. But I'm still the victim, and I should still get a say. And if they ask me to testify in court, I will tell them that I do not support the charges. But the last thing I need is MCD breathing down my neck asking me why I have the back of a capital felon. Because I can't explain what I just explained to you to them. Maybe they should take my badge away. I think I became a cop to kill people for the right reason. And only for the right reason. It was always how I reined myself in. I'm sorry if that worries you.
Worry? No.
not that, then what?
It doesn't really worry me. Most people become a cop for stupid reasons, right?
Sure.
Because it looks cool, or it seems fun, or in Rich's case, he wants to do something else with his life, which is good, I guess. I just don't want you to make a decision that you're gonna regret. I'll respect any decision you make.
I just need to think it over.
I know. You can have all the time in the world.
I think by the time I'm good, I'll probably have a little much better idea, figured things out, at least know where I stand. And Ed has been more than I deserve.
He's one of the good ones.
And I wish he gave himself more credit.
Oh, that stupid man and his ability to not give him any credit.
Sits there and he's like, I'm just Ed. It's like, yeah, okay, shut up.
Stupid bitch.
I can literally hear him say it. That man would move heaven and earth for me and ask nothing in return.
Pretty much. Not wrong.
And I've told him all of this. Literally everything I just told you, I have told him all of it. And he was the one who encouraged me to go talk to you about it.
Why me?
Because you're my captain.
Oh.
And the closest thing to a sister I still have.
Valid. I don't have the best insight sometimes, so.
I will keep this compliment brief, but you are one of the wisest and kindest people I have ever worked with.
Ugh. Thank you.
You've learned more in 2 years of police work than I've managed to figure out in 5 times that amount.
Compliments.
I guess I just really don't want to make the wrong decision.
Well, you're on the right track. You don't want to be rash about it. You want to figure it out on your own terms, which is a very good thing.
I think I rely on the opinions of others because I don't trust myself a lot of the time. The confidence I put on, the FTO, the this is how you do things. I was taught to be like that. But I rely on other people to keep me on the straight and narrow. And that's why it terrifies me to be surrounded by borderline psychopaths, because I'm a borderline psychopath.
Well, I am the mother of the psychopath, so... as long as I'm around, I'll give you it how it is.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you setting aside 3 hours of your time. Jesus.
It's fine.
Just to hear me whine about the fact that I'm an awful person.
I used to call myself the villain.
I don't think it's that simple.
No.
To pretend I've never done anything good in my life would be just as false as saying that I've only done good with my life.
Right. But 2.5 years ago, I met an underground doctor. Only doctor I've trusted besides my wife, pretty much. Or Dawson, I guess, kinda. To come near me. Of my own will, you know, conscious or whatnot. But I used to call myself the villain. She would get so mad at me. She goes, Raina, you're not a villain. And I was like, well, I'm not a hero. She was like, well, no, duh, you're not a hero. You're like the anti-hero. And I didn't really know what an anti-hero is because, you know, I don't pay attention to shit like that. I just knew that I was probably a monster because my father was, so it's probably what I was going to be. I didn't really care to define it. I was an angry little fucking 23-year-old. But when he came back to life, something snapped. Something snapped into place, and I looked up what an anti-hero was, and I was like, well, might as well commit to the bit.
You possess far too many heroic qualities to be an anti-hero.
What the hell?
Tell me that you wouldn't sacrifice yourself for any one person that you love.
I feel like I already did that at fucking Merryweather, but...
That is a heroic quality by nature. You are not an anti-hero.
Motherfucker. Let me have one thing.
I know it's not as simple as good and bad, but you were raised on a... Well, no, that's not the way I meant to word that. You grew up protecting people, and that is an ideal that you have managed to carry throughout your life. That is an ideal that is objectively noble, and one that makes for a very good leader. One that makes for someone that people are willing to follow. It's like the general who rides at the front of his army. He's willing to take a bullet just like any of his soldiers. You don't think yourself above people. You maintain humility and... It makes you a very easy person to follow. To listen to trust. And that's why so many people have gathered around you. That's why your family has gathered around you. You draw people and you share your qualities with them. You inspire your qualities in them. Look at Rich. I hated that man when I met him.
He is really fucking annoying.
I hated him because he went around my work telling everyone I was a cop. I still remember that. That was the day I fucking met him. So one of my coworkers came up to me and said, "Hey, I hear you're a cop." I'm like, "Who the fuck told you that?" Because it was like, I don't keep it a secret, but I don't like people going around telling everyone in my fucking work. And he's just like, "Yeah, my friend Richard Washington told me." It's like, who the fuck is Richard Washington? Find out he's some fucking safer guy who's been going around telling every one of his criminal friends that I'm a cop. Fuck him for that.
He's got a big mouth.
But I admire him now. In his own way. He's still saved in my phone as Raina's problem child.
Naturally.
But he's got a good heart. And while that's his, that goodness in him is his, people need an inspiration to find that. People can be kind and selfless. But they need someone to inspire that in them. And that's what you do. That's why I genuinely trust you with my life.
Ugh, what the hell? Knock it off.
Fine. But it is why I sought out your counsel.
I...
And I appreciate you giving me this time.
I mean, it's any time, really. I don't mind.
I know. I feel like I make people uncomfortable when I open up.
Eh. Not really.
These are the kinds of things that I don't particularly care to talk about when we're sitting around in a group circle at family couch time. I don't particularly care to be like, "Hello, Kalashaw family. So anyways, I get high on killing people. That's what I do. How are you all?" I don't control it. Truly, I can say that. I don't. It's not a choice. At this point, anyways.
Mhm.
It's like an addiction. It's like a drug. And at times, my body has absolutely taken control to get its fix. It gets the green light and it goes for it. And, you know, many years of my life went into installing the red light. That is...
I'm sorry.
Thank you, comedic horn timing. But what I do with that information is the part that I'm at now.
Well, my only advice, don't let it swallow you and drown you. Rely on the ecosystem. Or me, actually, if you don't want to share it to everybody, because I don't think everyone's gonna understand to the extent.
People don't tend to know. Like I said, there are certain things you don't share with people.
Right. But focus on the positives from the negative. Or at least try to. And eventually the small little baby steps will become strides, and then you can start walking. At least that's what I've learned. But everyone's experiences are different, and not everybody can offer the insight that everyone needs at certain times of their life. So, maybe it's fate that you happen to become closer to me and my family around this time.
That's entirely your fault.
I don't know what you want from me. My point.
Actually, I guess it's Ed's, but Ed was the one who peer pressured you into inviting me to all your Christmas stuff, which
No, not
I don't
really.
think I ever.
I offered it to him.
Christmas is one of the worst times of the year for me, and this year it was, you know, up until the very end of it, it was wonderful.
Same.
It was different. It was quite literally the most Christmas-y holiday season I have ever had in my entire life. And I cannot repay you for that.
I got you, Norman. My point is that it's probably the butterfly effect, right? Well, maybe not, but the way that the pieces fall are the way that they kind of fall. So, maybe it's important, the timing of it all. The fact that you have a radio full of people that will listen to anything you say. And come, well, not listen to everything you say, but come whenever you need them. Or whatever you have it.
I feel bad that I created a rift in Malcolm's family, truly. And I know I didn't create it, their actions created it, and yada yada yada, but
I get it.
I played a role in it. And he was about to offer two of them his last name. And he's burned that bridge. For me. And I don't want that. I don't want him to never have a relationship with Vanessa and with Robin. I don't want him to lose the only people in his life that give him some semblance of connection to his brother.
I don't know. Today he was talking about giving them his last name and then taking our last name.
I was going to say that was his... He basically said, if they take my last name, then I'm changing my name to Callahan Shaw. Because I don't want to be associated with them. Ever. And that... I think he meant for that to assure me, but all it did was make me sad.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
I know he would never believe me. But Vanessa does come from a place of good. What she does. Why she helps people. The entire reasoning for Hogakai. They make bad decisions. They do stupid things. And some people have paid a very high price for that. And I am positive that that weighs on her soul very heavily. She didn't start this to shoot at cops. She started it to give people a home.
That I can understand. I also watched Stark's face throughout the whole radio traffic of that night.
Yeah. And I imagine it's not easy watching the family that your would-be sister overseas turn violent against your brothers in blue. I imagine that's awful. Don't wish that pain on anyone, and I hope he can reconcile with that one day.
I think they all just need time for that.
I think so too. You know, despite my silent resentment of it, I was happy that he was able to have a relationship with his family, even if I had lost mine.
It's not much of a relationship, to be honest.
Guess it's not anymore.
They treated him like a cop way before that.
Sure. But that's the nature of picking up the badge.
I know.
I wouldn't expect any less. I treated people like cops. I understand why people treat people like cops. I watched people who wore badges beat the shit out of my friends. I wouldn't trust people who did that either. I wouldn't trust people who worked with people like that. Like it or not, we turn a certain blind eye. We have to. And I get it. They don't have to agree with what we do and why we do it. And I don't blame them for not being able to get over it. But I don't think that doesn't mean they cared about him.
I know. I think you have this, Norman. I believe in you. I wouldn't give you the pin if I didn't. I'm not scared of you, if that's what you're worried about. I've grown up with a demon, and I know when I see one and when I don't.
I don't know, I found demons are very good at hiding.
Maybe.
Either way. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just focus on the positive.
It might be a rough ask right now.
Believe me, I know. But there is good. There is positive. There is... It's in there somewhere.
I think I just need to... I need to get out of my head.
You need a
I'm
hobby.
stewing in there. All my hobbies require me to be a functional human being, that which I am not at this moment.
You do what I do.
Go fishing again. I fucking hate fishing.
No, I don't go fishing. Fuck fishing. My wife writes in a journal. I scrapbook. Like an old lady.
I used to write poetry. I stopped doing that.
Well, the best way to get out of your head is to write it on paper. Or do art, or get a bunch of paint and just throw it around a room. I don't know.
I feel like words have always been, I mean, quite literally raised in the legal field, so words have always come to me very naturally. I was given an ever-expanding vocabulary. And I'm fascinated by them, truly. Every time I learn a new word, every time I hear a word I don't know, I look it up and add it to my vocabulary and think about how I can use it. It's almost a fixation. It's probably why I nitpick the penal code so much.
Sounds about right.
You'd be surprised how much the word if and for or can and should make all the difference.
Can and should, I can definitely understand.
That's why I like our SOPs. They're very concise. They define the terms like shall, should, will, can. Make it very clear so that, you know, when nobody reads them, we at least have a standard.
You might like the new guidelines, honestly.
I once obsessively wrote an entire comms document on how to properly organize your comms.
Yep.
I wrote 3 pages on it.
Oh, I hit my fucking
Because
keyboard.
my command team asked me to. They're like, Gal, our comms suck. Can you write us a guide? I was like, yeah, bet. And I did it, and I gave it to them. And they're like, what's this? And I was like, the comms guide you asked for. They're like, oh, we don't want this. Our comms are fine. Thanks for nothing. Bye.
Sounds about right.
So I stopped writing documents for people because they don't want them. They wanted to say that they made the effort. They didn't expect me to follow up.
Imagine. McDonald told me today that every captain before me has not been able to do the guidelines, and I was like, I'm doing
Hello?
it right now. And I finished it within an hour. Hi, it's me. I'm just checking. Are you good?
Sure.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. I'm okay.
That's a lie and a half. What's wrong? Joey?
Sounds like your daughter needs you.
I'm okay, Ma. I just got, you know, a little toughed up.
Are you still at the Hobbable? Was that a yes?
Yeah, sorry. I'm getting a shirt.
My daughter got hurt in Frank Landmark's car. I might kill somebody. I think this is my murder arc.
Dear. Ow. No running.
Remember, it's that side of the
Sorry, that was an impulse.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. I also didn't think before I started sprinting.
It's okay. I'm just not able to do this. Wow.
Walk to the mirror. Turn. Yeah, you go.
I was gonna say, I have a Mustang. I do this all the time and still can't figure it out, apparently. It was really sweet of Ed to take me up to the racetrack today and help me figure that shit out. He was very thoughtful.
Yeah, he's a very, very, very intelligent ass motherfucker.
He knows exactly what people need to hear, and that's an incredible quality. He has the most profound sense of empathy I have ever seen in another human being. And he consciously chooses not to use it very regularly.
Yeah, he does.
He's just like, yeah, you should just kill them. It's like, Ed! It's like, what? They deserve it. It's like, Ed!
It's okay. Between him and my wife, sometimes when they fucking corner me, I'm fucked a lot of the time.
Oh, I can see it too. I see Imogen going full no fucks given mode.
Yeah, sometimes when there's been a time where I messed up once and I was like, oh, what? They're both standing there with their arms crossed and I was like, ah, I'm fucking screwed. My kids might kill me before the job does.
I was gonna say, if you don't die to gunfire, that's a win in this line of work.
Well, Imogen said to let the kids be kids and stop trying to help and mediate every conversation, but I can't help it.
You okay in there? Wherever the fuck there is.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I did the thing
Is it
again.
okay if I'm
Yeah,
here? I can step outside.
you're a cop. Shut up.
Alright. I mean, it doesn't exempt me from someone's privacy.
Hello.
Really, Mark.
Hello,
How you
daughter.
doing?
Yeah, hi.
I am doing.
Absolutely.
Trying to stop knocking and I can't. No,
Oh my god, I'm
stop
coming.
moving.
Hi.
Get over
Ow.
here.
Okay. Ow.
Sit
what?
down.
I don't want to sit down. I can't sit down, Ma.
Did it get you in the ass?
It got me in the back of the thighs and all over my back and on my shoulder and my back of my arms.
Are you?
Maybe
A few bites on her shoulder and a scratches on her back and leg and arms. You'll be okay. It does.
What are you doing?
what? I was going up to the Vinewood sign and I was listening to music while I was riding my skateboard.
How are you adjusting? How's your balance and everything doing?
You pulled a me. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. Stop being like me,
That's-
Joey, please.
Ma, what do you? It like just came out. Like Valero could attest. Like motherfucker was sneaky as fuck. He was also on scene when the next one came out of the den.
Oh.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big adjustment.
So I'm okay. Just as soon as it knocked me off the skateboard, I just curled onto myself.
Did they shoot it?
Yeah. Okay. This is how much it wanted me. Landmark shot it, and it went down, and then it got back up, and it started nomming on me again. So he shot it again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It knocked my sunglasses off.
What the hell?
I know, right?
It's weird how the body works, right?
Nancy got me squared away.
You'll
Just gonna have to sleep on my stomach for a few
train
weeks.
body works, I'm sure. Over time. As the body does
Mm.
work over time. You'll get used to it.
But you ain't got no room to talk, lady.
I don't know how many times I've tell you guys I'm the biggest hypocrite, so stop listening to me.
Yeah, I'll just stop listening to you then. I'm gonna go do everything opposite of what you've ever told me.
That's not what I meant by that statement. You know that.
I'm gonna laugh.
You did it to yourself.
I know. It's because I'm funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hee hee ha ha.
hee hee ha ha.
Yeah.
Tee hee sa ha.
I think
Mm,
I think you will
I'm okay, Ma. Wasn't
Mm.
so bad that it
back
did
on track
damage.
eventually. With a lot of progression.
Just blood a
and
bit.
lot of testing,
A bit.
and a lot
That
of
doesn't look a
training
bit.
as
Well, like a lot, a bit.
I just think getting back to that level and maintaining that level will be a little bit more.
Just I got the loose shirt. I'll be okay.
Well, yeah, you might be a little bit more exhausted at the end of every shift because you're putting in more work.
At least it didn't rip my throat out. We have that to be grateful for.
Yeah, no, I'm not losing any more family members, so you better get your act together.
Well, I was minding my own business.
Yeah. Joey,
Yeah.
I have a goal for everybody in the
Main
family.
issue you'll bump into,
Okay.
I think, is getting back into it on driving.
Is it an achievable goal?
Yes, hopefully.
Finally to do that, and I think
Everybody needs to make it to the
how
wedding.
are you with rabbing thing?
Yeah, okay. So you guys gonna get married like tomorrow then?
No, I don't know when. We haven't talked about it. There's been no time.
I'm okay. As soon as I got knocked over, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to stop it, so I just curled in. I protected everything important.
I can't bury any more family members.
You're not gonna bury me, Ma.
It's because you've
I've had a really hard conversation, and
both your eyes had that coordination working with both.
every time I'm on that hill and I have a conversation and someone ends up in the hospital, 9 times out of 10 it's usually really, really bad.
Yeah,
So I panic.
I'm okay.
you'll be okay.
I promise I'll be okay. No hugs for a while, but I'll be okay.
Okay. Are you going home?
Probably. I don't know.
Okay.
It's pretty sleepy.
Probably gonna bring Norman home, and then your mother says I need to rely on the ecosystem, so I'm gonna say this, but don't panic. Probably
Okay.
gonna go get really
Yeah.
fucking high.
Okay, yeah, you're cooked.
With
Weed.
what? Like edibles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not an easy conversation.
I'm here if you need to dump the dump, I guess.
Sponge is sponging everybody again.
Yeah,
I
the
told
double-
my wife I was gonna stop doing that, and I'm still doing it.
A lot of effort's gone out of the window. And you're going to have to pretty much start fresh. Because in essence, you are the same old gal, but in essence, you're still a different person.
Have you really been okay?
Yeah, no, I'm doing much better.
That's the frustrating
That
part.
talk I had
You
with
get to that point,
KB a
it's
few nights, like last week,
a little bit of patience.
it really helped. It was something I really needed to
Expect
hear.
every day to be
And you
fine.
are eating.
I am eating.
You're drinking water.
I am drinking.
Fluids.
Horchata?
Okay, fine. Fluids.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, I'm drinking horchata.
That's not good, but you know what I mean.
Cinnamon and milk. Cinnamon rice milk.
Usually,
What?
I just
What?
trust you to take care of yourself, but sometimes you worry me.
Like we've said, progression, right?
I know.
And that's the most frustrating part, is that you're having to do that progression again.
Rich
But
has Danny, so I don't really have to stress about him because she keeps him lock
got a good
and key,
relationship
honestly.
through
So
the course.
Bingo's his own chaotic tornado of whirlwind of shit. And you don't talk about things enough, so it always stresses me out.
When the important things come around, I talk to you, don't I?
I'm not saying you don't. I would like the little mother-daughter talk sometimes, man. What the hell?
Like a little powwow, really, isn't it?
I don't. Mother-daughter talks are not in my computer brain.
Yeah, well,
Hardware.
I'm programming a mother-daughter talk in there somewhere. I'm a coder now.
Oh my God. You're a coder now, huh?
Yeah, dog.
Huh? I just don't.
I'm decrypting my own key in there.
Oh my. That's just all right. You
It
putting your
says-
key in me, Ma?
Shut up. That's not what I mean. You know that. Shut the fuck up.
Oh God. I'm not funny. I'm not funny. I'm not laughing at that. I'm not totally tense.
Listen,
about my
I have
fucking
one
back.
daughter, all right?
mhm.
One daughter, okay? I'm not fucking it up.
You're still kicking it. Yeah.
You're not fucking it up, Ma.
Well, I feel like I am a little bit sometimes. I'm trying to juggle like 20 things at once,
I know.
which is why I wish you would talk to me so I don't have to stress about not juggling you enough.
I don't need to be a ball in the air for you, Ma.
What the hell? That's not what I mean by that sentence.
Well, I know, but like I'm not. You don't have to. I'm not. I'm not the. I'm not the bowling pin that you gotta toss around all the time.
I'm aware.
You don't gotta juggle me.
Have to juggle everybody.
No, you don't have to juggle everybody.
Yes, I do.
No, bitch, you don't.
Yes, bitch, I do.
No, bitch, you don't.
If I don't, then I am not doing enough.
What? You're doing plenty just being you.
No.
What's with the
Yes.
thing?
No.
You gotta
I'm literally gonna. Don't make me throw hands.
You
'Cause
can't.
I will probably cry.
Yeah,
I'm
no
gonna start
throwing
crying.
hands.
I'll cry.
I'll rip a stitch out if you throw hands on me.
Alright.
I'll rip my own stitches out.
You're doing that thing
Yeah.
again. Stop it.
Yeah, well. Hmm.
As long as you don't turn into an evil mastermind, it's alright.
Just. I mean, I can be a part of your juggling set, but you don't have to have me in the air all the time.
Well, yeah, I want you to be part of this. That's what I'm saying. Not like I'm juggling, like physically juggling everybody.
No, you kind of are though all the time. You're always
Except
so worried
Rich.
about everyone else.
Yeah, I know.
Just
I
need to-
wouldn't be me if I wasn't worried about everybody.
I know, but
Probably why I'm going gray.
This is
What's
the
wrong
first
with Gray?
time I've ever been in here, so no
Nothing.
fucking clue they're gonna
Although
say
it was
that.
called a pick me girl hairstyle today, so I don't know.
oh, fuck. Gal wants a bathroom. I got this. Gal. Oh, did you find
She's
Did you
in-
find the bathroom?
She's in the loo,
To
potentially.
the next door to the left.
I found it. Thank you.
God bless. I'll walk away so I don't have to listen to you pee.
What the fuck?
What? The walls are thin. I'm okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you and your fucking peepush eyes.
I'm adorable.
No.
Yeah.
Not when you're a dumb whore.
What?
How's that for a quote? I'm also kidding.
Oh, me a dumb whore. The
You get it
apple
from
doesn't
me.
fall far
Yeah.
from a
I was
tree.
gonna say you get it from me, bitch. Why are you upset? Runs in the family.
Yeah. You mean it lays on its back in the family?
Hey yo, relax.
Hey, yo.
Relax.
Sorry.
You're gonna make yourself
Wait.
laugh.
I went way too deep into the metaphor. Oh, hey, gal. Oh,
Norman, would you consider yourself a dumb whore?
Kind of.
See? She is part of the family.
God bless. Welcome to the family.
Joey says we lay on the back of being a dumb whore.
I
Sorry,
mean,
gal.
I very much so. I have definitely described myself as that at multiple points in my life.
See?
I see.
It's
I
like
see.
Dawson used to post those things about be careful, there's dumb bitch juice in the water, and it's like,
God, he's so
yeah, I drink it.
sarcastically
I drink it
funny.
every day.
On God. I drink that dumb whore juice every day.
Please, I don't want to hear what you drink from
Okay, relax.
God, I'm so funny. I can't help it. I just need to stop talking.
No, don't do that.
Yeah. Wow, those sweatpants got you double caked up on a Thursday, or
Right?
Wednesday, whatever day.
These
it
are my
is.
favorite
Oh,
sweatpants.
I was gonna say them's my gym pants.
Yup. I purposely
Yep.
put these on skateboarding today with your mother.
Oh, trying to get me a little sister.
What?
I don't think that's how
not
that works.
Although, according to Bingo, if you hold hands, you make a baby. So,
Yeah.
she
okay.
has like 800 million siblings right now.
No hand holding before marriage.
Shit.
Fuck.
Bitch.
I feel like I was just holding somebody's hand a little earlier. Shit.
Who?
Somebody was helping me through surgery. And by surgery, I mean just Nancy.
Oh.
Mm. Okay. Are you satisfied that I'm alive?
Listen, you can ask Al. The minute I was like, knew where you were, and then Landmark snitched where you were, I was like, I'm on my way.
What the what?
Yeah, I snitched, to be honest, because you said I'm fine on the radio, and that's a lot of bollocks. So.
God fucking bless.
God, we have a triage, like linear lineup.
I almost said something so
of
fucked up.
words. What?
I almost said you can't take the MCD out of the deputy. That's crazy.
Oh. Trust is broken.
You'll be
oh my
aight.
God.
No, you'll be alright.
Yeah, I was all right.
No,
Fine.
you were Raina fine. Shut up.
Yeah, you're reading
I'm
fine.
gonna say your answer on the radio was not convincing.
It really wasn't convincing.
Yeah. Maybe that was the whole point.
I was coming regardless.
Yeah, I knew you would be coming regardless. But baby, I
Hopefully
could
not
just-
till she gets home to her wife.
Oh my God.
Jesus
please.
fucking Christ, Cal.
I'm sorry, it's because I spend too much time with Ed.
I'm
That's
gonna sleep
not-
on the couch here. I'm
What?
gonna listen to that tonight.
No, don't worry. We already got it out for the engagement night. We're good.
You have been spending too much time with Ed. God, it's almost like I can hear his voice coming out of your mouth.
Right now?
Oh God.
Or gals?
Yeah.
It's okay. I was literally hearing. I was like talking about something that I definitely heard Ed say in the car. I don't even remember what I was talking about, but I was definitely remembering Ed.
Oh, yeah.
I was channeling Ed.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh God. I got this. I got this.
Close enough.
Yeah. Nope. That just. I'm just.
You missed
ow,
the chair.
First one.
I missed everything. Listen. You know, the echolocation just isn't on point for me, guys. Okay.
Echolocation.
That's what I should use to see.
I was gonna say, you may not want to say that around Cal.
I just gotta learn echolocation. Then I don't need either
Just
of my
runs around.
eyes.
She just runs around going,
That's why I'm always yelling at
Ma.
criminals. That's why I'm always running around telling criminals to stop, because that's what I use to actually see them.
sorry. Alright, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. You're good. You're good. Oh my God. Why are we scooting in on me?
I don't know, because
For the Powerpuff Girls.
I literally
What?
can't stand still because I start getting dizzy.
Okay. What? Sit down. What the hell?
No, because then she's just dizzy in a seated.
I was gonna
position.
say,
It's
I don't get to not move. Moving actually helps a lot. Moving in a car doesn't, but like walking actually helps a bit. Which is why I was happy that I got to walk around all day, because I spent most of my day not dizzy.
Hell yeah.
Then, you know, I go lay down in bed, and as soon as my inner ear is like, oh, we're sideways now, everything's terrible.
God bless the inner ear.
Inner ears, gross. Okay. I'm gonna take this chance to pee because I haven't peed since
Probably
I
since
don't-
before Storm.
it's been about 8 hours actually.
Go pee, Ma. That's
Yeah.
not good for your
Yeah,
fucking
I'm aware.
urinary tract.
I'm really good at holding it.
That's what she said.
Yeah, the edging is amazing.
I'm gonna go vomit.
Okay.
You brought it up.
I'm an okay. I'm gonna want a dick. That's what she's gonna want. I
All right, I'll be right back. Chat. Give me 2 seconds.
I don't like walking. That hurts. Ow, fuck.
You know what else is weird? I pull out my phone, I look down at it, and I'm like, fuck, why am I holding this in my right hand?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Just sunbathing.
It hurts to walk.
Why don't you like sit down on the couch?
Because then my thighs are pressed up against the couch.
Yeah, it's floor
Oh.
time.
But then you're gonna get up and it's gonna hurt like a bitch.
Yeah, well, that's a
All right.
bridge that I will burn when I get to it.
Okay then, alright.
Yeah, it's floor time, dog.
Alright.
Yeah.
Floor
tummy
time.
It's tummy time.
Tell me. Okay.
Fuck! Don't make me laugh. Fuck. Okay, I can do this. Autopsies. Let's go. I don't know why I decided that autopsies were the way to make myself stop laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea. Okay, I'm like mentally working my way through an autopsy right now. It's delightful. What was the song you were telling me about, Landmark? Order of no order.
Okay.
What was the song?
Huh?
You were telling me about a song
When?
on the drive here. You said I was
Was
listening
it?
to Dreams. Yeah, and you mentioned another one.
Oh, Gypsy.
Gypsy. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, Gypsy's a good song.
You put my skateboard in my bag of holding for me, so that I do not have to put it on my back.
I sure can, yeah.
Remy, come.
I'll shuffle over to get your bag of holding, I suppose.
I'll get up. Hold on.
Oh, alright. You do you.
Come on, buddy. Come here. Lay down.
Awesome. It's so great. I love that for me. Okay, the bag it belongs in.
A skateboard bag, okay.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's just
And
that.
there you go.
God bless. Okay, I think I want to go to bed.
Probably a good idea, to be honest.
Yeah, and figure out how to lie still for once in my life.
Hey,
Okay, now I gotta figure out how to get home.
what the fuck are you? I'm gonna beat your
What are you on
ass.
about?
What? I don't want to sit in a car.
Did he bang your head?
Probably.
Fucker, she don't want to sit in the car. You could lay in my back seat.
Tummy time. Whatever you fucking called it.
Ain't no way she
So look,
locked this. Ain't
the
no way.
fucking doors.
I'm holding it
Just through the
open.
door there. Are you sure about that?
I'm literally holding it.
I just don't think you are. You're like quarterbacking the fuck out of me right now.
I was literally through the door. Josephine Reagan,
Yeah, Ma.
please lay in my back seat. You can lay on your
What are you
stomach.
driving?
R34. Good night.
There's room in the back seat of that.
Yes, there is.
Barely.
Yeah, but you won't be sliding everywhere, at least. It's like I'm hurting.
I'll get there eventually.
You're good. I was just like, damn, I feel like I'm hurting sheep.
It's okay. Looks like the car's pretty close or really far away.
Okay. Well, there's a wall here, so don't hit it. I'm blocking you.
Oh, got it. Thank you. I actually really appreciate that.
All right, Joey.
Do you want back seat or front seat, Joey? You're gonna lay across the back seat?
Yeah, the back seat.
Alright. Oh, wait, that's the wrong side. One of these days they'll figure it out. Probably not, though.
Okay. God bless. It looks like I have somebody kidnapped in my backseat. Alright, let's drop Gal off.
Please, I need to go home.
I figured.
I need to go home so I can try to fall asleep standing up so that I don't have to lay down.
Oh my god, you're taking up horse techniques. I approve.
I'll let you know when it actually works, ever. It's okay, the trick is to just not sleep, ever, for any reason. Done.
Oh, you know what? I can get behind that. I don't need sleep either.
Just become manic.
Become manic or be manic? Because I already am that.
I mean, either or. If you're not already. You don't need to sleep while you're having delusions of grandeur.
She's cooking.
She's cooking.
Who's on? Duty. I've finally gotten good at reading my phone screen. You just gotta squint and look at it at the right angle, and it works just fine.
It'll get easier the more your eyes adjust.
Yeah. I'll get there. Day by day. Thank you for everything. Genuinely, I appreciate it.
I got you, Norman.
Good
You
night,
two stay
gal.
safe. Have a good night.
I'm always safe.
Yeah, I Miss Murder Kitty.
I bet.
Okay.
Mm. Be safe, gal.
You as well.
I ain't ever skateboarding with music in again.
Yeah. Not exactly smart. I do that too, though, so I can't really say anything.
I like never do it before, but somebody suggested it and I wanted to give it a try. It was nice. I enjoyed it very much until all of a sudden I was knocked out off the skateboard.
If I ever start questioning my morals, I hope someone shoots me.
What morals are you questioning?
Oh, I'm not questioning morals.
Who's questioning morals?
People, things, stuff, everything.
Alright. I really didn't go looking for trouble, I promise.
I know. I just stress and worry about everybody, so when I hear bad news, I just assume the worst and someone's dying. Just because I'm... Call it PTSD, I guess.
Yeah, you can call it that.
It mostly stems from the fact that... It went from just a stab wound to, oh, she's dying in front of me. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's not exactly fun for it to be thrown in my face either when I'm trying to move on from it.
No, I can imagine not.
I didn't tell everybody for your sake.
Hmm?
I'm protecting you and I'm not gonna tell you who it is.
Okay. Where are you gonna go get hella high at?
Probably the backyard.
Okay.
Hella high. Can't believe you quoted me on hella high.
It's locked.
Nice. Good night, Joey. Sleep well.
Night, Ma. Love ya.
Love you too.